وجدنا أن كثير من المسؤولين أن سحره قديم متعلق بالأسرة.
Sometimes we find that the magic which may be within a particular family is that magic that has remained within the family for a period of time, a long time.
وبعضهم يكون قد ذهب إلى السحرة.
And we find that sometimes that people have actually gone to the magicians themselves.
أخذتها أمها وهي صغيرة وأخذت ابنها وهي صغيرة.
For example, that the mother took a small child or the small son or daughter to a magician when they were young.
وقد تجد أحد أفراد الأسرة يتعامل بالسحر.
And you may find one of the members of the family themselves is dealing with magic.
هنا لابد أن يسأل الراقي المريض عن أرشيف حياته.
Therefore, it is upon the raqi, when dealing with such cases, to ask about the history of any one individual and the surrounding circumstances.
بعضهم يعلق التعاويذ.
Some of them that they wear and they attach these talismans or these ta'weez to themselves.
فإذا أخرجها وأبطلها تنتهي الحال بإذن الله.
So that when we remove these ta'weez and we destroy them, we see that the problem is gone away.
كما أن هناك سحرة من الإنس هناك سحرة من الجن.
Just as we find that there are magicians from mankind, there are also magicians from the world of the jinn.
ويسمون السعالى.
And they are called as-su'al.
نعم. كما أنهم يسحرون الإنس أيضا يسحرون الجن.
And these, just as they cause magic to jinn, that they could also afflict human beings with magic.
والساحر الذي يبرع في السحر ويكون سحره قوي هذا الذي يطلقون عليه استدلاك ميت.
And those magicians who are involved in very harsh and horrible kind of magic, this is what we can attach the name to, a form of black magic.
هذا الصنف من السحر هو الذي ينتهي كتاب الله أو يتبول عليه أو يفعل.
These are the kind of people who do evil and awful things to the Quran, like ripping it up and things like that.
أحبتي في الله، يعني هناك شيء هام جدا في حياتنا.
There is a very important thing that we should all know in our lives.
الله سبحانه وتعالى يقول إن كيد الشيطان كان ضعيفا.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that the plots of the shaitan, that they are weak.
لكن متى يكون ضعيف؟
But when will that person, when will those plots and plans, when will they become weak?
حينما أكون أنا قوي.
When I am strong.
حينما يكون عندي صبر.
When I have patience.
عندما يكون عندي توكل على الله.
And when I have a state of reliance and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And having good thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
حينما تكون عقيدتي سليمة.
And when I have a sound belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
حينما لا أخاف إلا الله.
And when I only fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone.
ولهذا أكثر من يشتكي من المصابين تجد أن عنده هذه الأمور ناقصة.
We find that when a person is complaining from the ailments of magic and is unable to get over it, we find that there's a deficiency in one of those matters that we have mentioned.
يأتي يصرخ ويبكي ويقول أصبت أنا مسحور ويسقط في الأرض.
So when you see them screaming and shouting and crying and falling on the floor,
مثل هذا يكون قد حطم نفسه بنفسه.
Because this person has just given in and has just collapsed within themselves.
ولهذا أيها الأحبة يقول الإمام ابن القيم رحمه الله تعالى أكثر ما تتسلط الشياطين والسحرة على الناس على أصحاب القلوب الضعيفة.
Ibn al-Qayyim, the famous scholar, he said that those people whom the shaitan has the ability to overtake and affect and possess are those people whom the shaitan and the magicians find who have weak hearts.
صحيح أن هناك أنواع قوية من السحر.
Yes, that we know that there are types of magic which is very strong.
تجعل الإنسان يسقط في الأرض ويصبح ويدري ما حوله.
Which may cause that person to collapse on the floor, or may lead them to not know what is going on around themselves.
هذا معذور.
That person is excused.
وحكمه حكم المجنون.
But that person has a ruling of the insane person.
حكمه في الشرع في صلاته في عبادته حكم المجنون.
So, for example, regarding the rulings of the prayer and the obligations, they will take the same ruling as an insane person.
إذا أردنا نتكلم عن علاج المسحور.
If we start talking about the cures that can be used for the one who is afflicted by magic,
نقول مثل ما قلنا في علاج العقيدة الصحيحة والصلاة والأذكار وهذه الأمور كلها.
And similarly, as we mentioned regarding the cure for the one who is afflicted with the evil eye, i.e. having sound belief in establishing the obligations.
استخدام العلاجات المباحة من زمزم وغيره.
And also using those permissible means, like from Zamzam, is also recommended.
يستخدم العجوة، تمر العجوة.
And also you can use a particular type of date which is called 𝗔𝗨𝗗𝗏.
الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: من تصبح ب7 تمرات من تمرات العادية لم يضره ذلك اليوم سم ولا سحر.
The Prophet ﷺ said in an authentic hadith that whoever was to eat 7 dates in the morning, then no magic or poison would be able to harm that person on that particular day.
أيضا استخدام الماء المقروء والزيت المقروء والعسل المقروء له فوائد.
Also using honey and olive oil and water that has been recited over can also serve as a benefit.
إذا كان السحر مأكولا الإنسان يستخدم أي شيء من المقيئات.
And if it is a magic which is something the person induced by eating, then you can use certain products which will maybe cause diarrhea for that to be removed from your body or vomiting.
أو يستخدم السنة حتى يسهل.
These senna, which will make you cause you to go to the bathroom. You can use that as well.
ويستطيع أن يستخدم السدر.
And you can also use sidr.
أو القسط الهندي.
Also, there's a root which is called 𝗪𝗪.
وكل شيء مباح.
And everything which is mubah and permissible for us to use.
بعضهم يكون سحره مكتوب ومدفون.
Some of us, they come across and they say, right, the magic has been something which is written and it's been buried.
يبحث في بيته.
So they should look in their homes.
وهو نقول أنا في شقة.
The person says, well, I'm just living in a flat.
كيف يدخل السحر؟
How can the magic, enter a flat?
الجن يدخلون الأسحار.
These jinn can enter the home and then put the magic inside the home.
في داخل الجدار وفي باطن الأرض.
Inside maybe the walls, or even inside under the floors.
والقصص في هذه كثيرة.
And there are many stories confirming this.
كم من المرضى والهرش المنزل يقول خرج البراء من الأرض انكسر.
How many cases we have where we have opened up the floor and we find there is magic which has been buried under the tiles or the planks or something like this.
أو من الجدار.
Or even in the walls.
من أدخله الشياطين تدخله.
Who put these things in the walls and under the floor? It is none other than the jinn, the shayateen.
وبعض الأسحار ينفذها الجن. بعض الأسحار ينفذها الجن.
And there are certain shayateen or jinn who will implement or proceed with this magic.
يسرقون شيء من ملابس المسحور حتى يتم فيه السحر.
That they may steal something from your garments or something belongs to you and then perform the magic on that.
وبعض المرضى يقول كنت نائما فأرى شخص يضع الطعام في فمي أو لبن حينما أستيقظ أجد اللبن في فمي وما عندي لبن في البيت.
For example, the person said that I had a dream that somebody was feeding me or putting milk into my mouth. Only when I wake up, I found that I had been drinking milk and I do not have any milk in my home.
بعضهم يجد السحر مرشوش أمام بيته.
Sometimes we find that the magic has been sprayed at the front of their house.
أحدهم يقول يوجد قطة مذبوحة أمام البيت.
Or something that was slaughtered in front of their home.
أمور مثل هذه كيف نتصرف؟
In matters like this, how are we supposed to behave?
نقول بالنسبة للشيء المرشوش نرش عليه الماء المقروء.
So, for example, if something has been sprayed over your home, then likewise we would do the same. We would recite over some water and then spray over that was sprayed.
والشيء المدفون نحاول أن نبحث عنه.
And things which have been buried, we try our utmost to discover and find where that has been buried.
بدون أن نذهب إلى ساحر أو كاهن أو عراف.
Without going to another magician or fortune teller to ask them where has the magic been buried.
كثير من الناس رجالين يقول نحن أرسلنا إلى شيخ وسألناه فسأل عن الاسم واسم الأم ثم قال السحر في المكان الفلاني.
There are certain people who are known as quote unquote as a sheikh, and we go to them and we ask them where has the magic been buried, and then they start to ask them questions. What is your mother's name? What is this and what is that? And then they then tell you where the location of the magic is.
الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول من أتى كاهنا أو عرافا وصدقه بما يقول فقد كفر بما أنزل على محمد.
The Prophet ﷺ told us that whoever goes to one of these fortune tellers or soothsayers and believes what they have said has disbelieved in what was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ.
طيب إذا سألته فقط وما صدقته.
What about if you ask him but you don't believe him?
الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول ما تقبل منه صلاة 40 يوما.
The Prophet ﷺ said concerning this person that their salah, their prayer will not be accepted for 40 days.
تحذير.
This is a big warning.
الصحابة يقولون يا رسول الله قد يقول الشيء يكون حقا.
The companion said to the Prophet ﷺ that maybe that person says something which is truthful.
مع ذلك نهاهم عن سؤال العرافين والكهنة.
However, that being the case, the Prophet ﷺ still prohibited us from asking questions to soothsayers and fortune tellers.
وأرشدنا إلى الدعاء الكثير والإلحاح في الدعاء حتى يبصرنا الله.
And rather, the Prophet ﷺ guided us to be very proficient or and ask many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the needs that we have.
بعضهم يجد السحر ما يدري ماذا يتصرف به.
Sometimes a person may find the magic and is unaware or doesn't know what to do with it.
نقول يأتي بإناء فيه ماء.
We say that have a vessel which has water has been recited on,
يقرأ فيه المعوذات.
and that you recite surahs like 𝗪𝗘𝗕𝗦𝗧 and 𝗫𝗫,
𝗦𝗘𝗟𝗙 الفاتحة خواتم البقرة.
And these verses like 𝗪𝗘𝗙, 𝗦𝗘𝗟𝗙 and the last verses of Surah Al-Baqarah over the water.
بعض آيات السحر.
And some of the verses pertaining to magic.
ويضع الشيء الذي وجده في داخل هذا الماء.
And the thing that that person found, that they place it inside that water which has been recited over.
ثم يفتحه داخل الماء.
And then the person should open that they found inside the water.
إن كانت فيه كتابة تذاب في هذا الماء.
And if there's something that's written, there's something that will just dissolve away.
أو تقطع الورقة في هذا الماء.
Or you just cut the paper which is inside the water.
وإذا فيه خيط فيه عقد أو كذا يحاول أن يفك العقد أو يقطعها بالموس.
Or if there are knots on a piece of string, then you do your utmost to undo them, to untie them, or you get a blade and just cut them through so that they're untied.
وبعد هذا يلقيها في أي مكان.
And then after that, they can be disposed of any place that you like.
الأسحار التي تكون في قطع معدنية منقوشة.
Those types of magic which is done on pieces of metal which has engravings on it.
هذه تطرق بالمطرقة أو حتى تمحى هذه الكتابة.
So what you do with this is that you get a hammer and you ensure that the markings in this metal is removed.
وهكذا الأشياء التي تكون في الجدار تحك.
Likewise, if there's markings on the walls and so on, then you do something which rubs off these particular writings or whatever you find there.
هناك أسحار قد تكون في البحر أو في القبور.
But there is certain magic which is placed in the sea or even in graves.
نصلها بالدعاء والإلحاح عند الله سبحانه وتعالى.
That here we are to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as many times as we can and raising prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with supplication.
لا ييأس الإنسان يقول كيف سحري من يأتي به.
And we should never despair and say, how we can get this magic and how we can resolve the situation.
كلنا وكل الرقاة تأتينا أسحار يريدوها الناس. الرقاة كلهم تأتيهم أسحار وتعاون.
So the people who are involved in Ruqya, people bring many things towards them and showing them the magic that has been done.
يعني أنا أذكر مرة في بلادنا أحد الإخوة قفز في بيت ساحر وقبض عليه وجاءني ب157 سحر. There
was one man in his country where he entered the home and jumped into the home of a magician, and there he found 157 different types of magic that the magician was preparing.
جلست أفتح فيها يومين.
He said, I spent 2 days opening and investigating these different types of magic.
أقول سبحان الله نحن نبحث عن سحر فلان الذي يتعالج عندنا والله يبعث لنا أسحار ممكن ل157 شخص.
Now they said there's a person who came to me who needed a solution for the magic that had been afflicted with him, and here I find this 157 individuals who were going to be afflicted by this magic was then brought to me.
وهناك أيضا جهود هيئة الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر في بلادنا هكذا يقول نمسك أسحار كثيرة وكتب سحر.
We have an organization where which is known as the organization or the group which commands the good and forbids the evil, and they come across many examples where they find different types of magic and magicians.
لهذا لا تقل كيف يبطل السحر.
So we should never say how can the magic be resolved or destroyed.
ولا تفكر بعقلك لكن ادعو الله سبحانه وتعالى.
And don't just think with your mind, your restricted mind, where the solution can come from. Rather supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
أختم بهذه النصيحة دائما.
Let me just conclude this advice, and I always give this advice.
دائما نضرب مثال نقول لو في ماء مكذوب.
And I always give this example that if there is some water that we find in front of us,
ماذا نفعل بها؟
what am I going to do with that large amount of water that's spilled on the floor? What am I going to do?
نجففها صحيح؟
Am I not going to dry it up?
لكن قبل أن نجففها لابد أن نعلم أين مصدرها.
But before I dry it up, I need to find the source of where that water came from.
من السقف يخر أو من الحمام نغلق.
Did it come as a leak from the ceiling? Did it come from a leak from the bathroom? I need to find the source of where that water came from.
إذا أصلحنا مصدرها ستجف في دقيقة واحدة.
If I'm able to find the source of where that water comes from and to resolve that problem, I can dry that water and solve it within a minute.
وهكذا المرض وهكذا الأمراض الروحية.
And likewise, those spiritual illnesses and ailments that we have, you find out the cause and the source of it, then by Allah's permission, you'll be able to cure it.
إذا أصبت بعين بسحر بمس قبل أن تبحث عن الراقي قل بسبب ماذا جاءتني هذه الأمور نقول بسبب الذنوب والمعاصي.
So if a person is afflicted with like magic or evil eye, before you go to the raqi, try to find out a reason why this has happened and what are the causes of this particular affliction.
إذا العلاج قبل أن أبدأ في علاج هذه الأمور لابد أستغفر الله وأعود إلى الله.
So it begins with staying away from those haram things and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness.
فإذا فعلت هذا يكون علاج السحر والعين والمس حتى المرض يكون سهل.
And if you engage in staying away from the haram and asking Allah's forgiveness, then when you come to the stage of cure, then inshallah ta'ala it will be an easy affair.